Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's been having a really great time. I know. Thank you so much, Jean. I needed those moments. This next individual who's joining us, it holds a very special place in my heart. Coach Taylor is the founder of the nationally recognized nonprofit organization, Getting Out by Going In. She's authored more than 20 books and courses, is a national leader in the empowerment of incarcerated individuals, empowering them to be the solution upon returning to their communities. When not volunteering her time for a nonprofit, she's a strategic coach to corporate executives and high-profile individuals seeking lasting solutions to their daily lives. I'm one of those people that Coach Taylor empowered. Just so everybody knows, and I was fortunate enough to meet Coach Taylor in 2006. I'd been home for 2 years. She's phenomenal. I didn't even know I was going to get to see her today. I haven't seen her since my wedding day. She actually got to marry my wife. We got to get married by Coach Taylor almost a dozen years ago. And so I'm super, super grateful to be able to share this space. I'm honored and humbled that it's you. I know it was going to be somebody from Getting Out by Going In, but I didn't anticipate it as being you, Coach Taylor. I want to thank you so much. 14 years later, still doing the work, still making sure that lives are changed. And it's because of people like you who believed in me. So thank you. I love you. I'm grateful. I'm super excited to be able to sit in this 30-minute workshop.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of the woman you are and the place you hold for everyone and the heart you hold dear. And I saw that spark in you a dozen years ago, and it just is a beautiful, beautiful growing flame. So I'm so grateful you invited me to be here to share our tools. So once now it cleared my eyes, that was a little emotional for me. You know, organizations have a life, and this life has growing pains as we go from an infant to the terrible 2s to then the 5s, and we're going to school. And then as we grow throughout our life, every stage of our life meets with some challenges and some benefits. And GOGI, we're almost 20 years old, and we have had our struggles, believe me, from the early days to the struggles now that we're in our 20s. We have struggles, not unlike many of the nonprofits that try to do the very, very good work. So our mission and our vision really is to empower everyone, all nonprofits, every human being, so that they suffer less and they're able to experience more joy. And it was through Felicia's invitation that we actually came here. So we are going to work on some quick fixes today. And by quick fixes, what I mean are little tools that we can have you utilize to kind of speed up your access to all those things that you are extremely capable of doing, but maybe don't have the confidence. This new technology, while wonderful and it does not limit us, certainly our YouTube video has 150,000 views on it, so we're reaching more. I'm not technologically sound, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see these slides, but what I want to share with you are some quick fixes that our students who are incarcerated have discovered that they want to share with the world. These are specifically sharing resilience tools. So this workshop is actually brought to you by our GOGI volunteers. Here's our agenda. Very quickly, you're going to hear about the GOGI volunteers, a little bit about GOGI, a little bit about PowerUp. Then you're going to have a quick glance at our calendar of study and why that's important, an overview of the tools, and then we're going to get to the reason why you're here, which is quick fixes for your own life. But you needed that foundation before I give you the tools, because the tools are so simple, you're not going to think they work unless you have the foundation. So let's take a look here at me. This is my LinkedIn profile. I'd love it if you would connect with us on LinkedIn, because we do posts. We actually send you lots of free materials. So if you kind of look me up on LinkedIn, I'll make sure to have you as one of my contacts, and you'll kind of be in the loop to get a bunch of free stuff from GOGI and our PowerUp. Coach Leigh Carlson is also in on this webinar. She's not going to be able to speak, but know that she heads our media department. She's been with us since 2009. She's very much, if she were in the same room, I'd have her pop her head right here and say hello. So Coach Carlson, thank you for joining in. Coach Ivanica actually is in the room, making certain we don't have technical difficulties. Come on, Coach Ivanica.
Say hi.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
She's making sure our slide presentation is awesome, which it is, and that we give you all the good information. Coach Johnny, he's probably standing right in this position, sending out our mail. He handles hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of mail every month. And Coach Johnny is very much at our core of our GOGI team of volunteers. What is GOGI? You need to know what is GOGI if you're going to trust the tools that I'm giving you. GOGI is a nonprofit organization. We started in 2002 in the Feds, and in 2005 we began our first workshop in CDCR, and we have expanded across the nation. We get letters from all over, and we supply them with Power Up Your Life, the GOGI Way books, and we also offer correspondence courses. So we share simple tools for positive decision making, and those are the tools we're going to give to you. We are expanding out of the walls of prison and confinement to the Power Up culture. The tools we're going to teach you are actually part of that Power Up culture. Why is that important? It's important to know that once you leave prisons and jails, there is a life. In fact, if we can teach you some of the tools while you're incarcerated and you apply them when you're out, you're going to experience huge amounts of freedom. For people who've never been in prison, oftentimes they feel like they are in a mental, emotional, physical, or religious prison, so we want to free those people too. So this culture that we are creating is one that unites all of humanity into positive decision making. The tools that you're going to learn, and there's going to be 3 of them that we teach you, are actually tools given to us by prisoners. The gift of internal freedom from those who earned it the hard way. The GOGI Power Up tools are a gift to all mankind from individuals who have learned the value of internal freedom. They want this freedom shared with the world. As a matter of fact, across the board with all our students, and there are now 22,000 GOGI students in CDCR alone, there's not one of them that wouldn't tell you that if they learned our tools early enough in their youth, they would not be sitting in a prison cell. These tools, they feel, allow you to feel internal freedom, and that internal freedom is what sets them free. So here's some of our groups. At the bottom, the left, you see Coach Johnny sitting on the ground with a bunch of guys. Most of those guys are home now. All of them are doing well. And Coach Johnny, of course, who's leading the group on the floor, he is our mailroom manager. In the center, the girls in blue, that's the Los Angeles County Jail program. We had 300 women in that jail rotation program in the module. And we got our recidivism rate down to 11%, where the rest of the jail was exceedingly higher than that. And these women went on to do great things. Felicia actually helped me with some of the events with the girls. To the right of that is our group of leaders at CTF, the training facility in Soledad. You see Coach Carlson there on the bottom right. On the bottom left, you see a group of kids. That's where we hold our Power Up meetings. We teach the children that they can be the boss of their brain, that they can do belly breathing to be resilient, that they have a 5-second light switch and other tools. So we teach the children the tools we're going to teach you today. In that center bottom, that's Coach Kathy. Coach Kathy first wrote to us from a jail cell, and she said, I'm ready for internal freedom. And now, when permitted, when there's not pandemics or lockdowns, she actually is a very sought after speaker inside prisons and jails. And on the right side is an actual peer mentor group. I never attended that peer mentor group, nor did any of our other coaches. But the women know how to run the PowerUp meetings, and they did that, and they do that across the country. So the peer mentor groups is at the foundation of our PowerUp meetings. So now a little bit more foundational before we get to what these tools mean to you. The PowerUp calendar of study. Now, why is that important? I think we have enough time. We've got about 19 minutes left. I want to share a story with you. It was 2015, and Pelican Bay State Prison had just recently gotten over the hunger strike that then permitted men in SHU to not have indeterminate sentences. It means that they were given the opportunity to earn their way to different security housing. So nobody wanted to go in and service these men, and I guess GOGI was just naive or hopeful enough that we decided we wanted to go in. So I remember being one of the very first non-prison employees seen by many of these men who'd been locked away for 30 or more years. I made the rotation with my little library cart of supplies, and I would knock on cell doors and say, hey, are you ready to do some GOGI? And we expanded the GOGI culture from Pelican Bay SHU. Well, there was one gentleman who said, well, Coach Taylor, what tool is everybody studying? I said, what do you mean? They're studying the GOGI tools. He said, but yes, which one? Which one is everyone studying? Because I don't want to be alone anymore. I want to study with everybody else. I took that message back to the men at CTF that you saw in that picture. And I said, we have prisoners who are in SHU units, and they are not able to be with us. They are not able to meet with anyone, but they want to be united with us. And I remember one guy said, well, you know, the Aztec calendar is ending this year. I think it's time to do a GOGI calendar. And so I said, okay, I'll come back and we'll get that GOGI calendar. They created the calendar that I'm going to share with you. And regardless of where you are throughout the world, you can power up with someone else, with large number of people on this calendar. So let's look at this calendar. Here's our PowerUp calendar. Now you can look at the month you were born and on the week you were born, and you can tell what tool was present on the week you were born. For me, 3rd week of July, I was the 5-second light switch baby. So if you look at this calendar and you look at today's date, this is the week that everybody's going to be studying this tool. So this calendar is how we focus on our tools. Now today we're going to learn 3 tools, and we're going to learn them today, which is a little out of calendar, but the rest of the GOGI community, the rest of the PowerUp community are on calendar as they study their tools. It's one way we stay united. There are 4 sets of PowerUp tools, and here are their functions. The tools of the body really represent those tools that we should learn from birth to about 8 years. When we are born, up until the time we are 8 years, we're learning about our body. We're learning how it functions, that it's ours, that we can have command over it. These tools, boss of my brain, belly breathing, and 5-second light switch, help us developmentally move on to the next phase. Tools of choice. Those really are those tools that we need from age 8 to about 13. They are positive thoughts, positive words, and positive actions. When we have those tools, we're able to navigate that 8 to 13 and find out who I am in this world and how do I relate to others and how do I relate to the world around me. The tools of moving forward are important because by the time we get to age 13, we've experienced a lot. We've been hurt a lot. We've been angry, frustrated. We haven't known how to handle things. So the tools of moving forward are actually from age 13 to 18. Here we get to learn how to claim responsibility, how to let go, and for us to give, we need safety from harm. And then our tools of creation from the time we're 18, when we become full and into our own, from 18 onward, if we have all those other tools at our disposal, we are now able to use the tools of creation. What if? What if I'm not my past? Reality check. 10 steps forward, 2 steps back, or still 8 steps ahead. And ultimate freedom, my freedom is found through service. So these are our 4 sets of tools and their functions. Here are our PowerUp tools. I will read them for you. Boss of my brain, belly breathing, 5-second light switch. You'll remember those are tools of the body. Positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions. You'll remember those as tools of choice. Claim responsibility, let go, forgive. Those tools are moving forward. And our tools of creation, what if, reality check, and ultimate freedom. How can you use this to build resilience? Well, all of this information is going to be free for you. All you've got to do is email us, go to our website, and just say, hey, please give me the quick fix slides, and we'll send them to you. There's also additional free information for you there. But let's look at 3 tools and some kind of quick fixes that you're going to be able to use. Boss of my brain. So we're going to work with Boss of my brain. The dates of study for Boss of my brain are the first week of January, first week of April, first week of July, and first week of October. The tool keywords. Actually, there are 3 parts of your brain that matter when you're working with a GOGI tool. You have the smart part, the emotional part, and the old habit part. While the brain is immensely complex, simplifying it down to these 3 parts allow you to take control over it. All you're going to do is ask, which part of my brain is in charge? The statement of ownership for this tool is, I am boss of my brain and I claim control over each thought I create. Because I am boss of my brain, I can change my thoughts at any time. No one has control over my thoughts because only I am boss of my brain. Now let's look at a quick fix. Now this one is for you. So get your pad of paper out and make some notes. Here's your quick fix. The first thing that we want you to do when utilizing this tool as a quick fix is own it. What are you experiencing? Earlier today, for me, frustration. Total and complete utter frustration. Now, I have to find it. Where is that frustration inhabiting my brain functioning? I would say, oh my gosh, frustration's all over the place. It's my entire body. Every cell of my body is absolutely frustrated, which may be true, but where is it hiding? Where is the epicenter of it? Is it my old habit part? Is it my emotional part? Or is it my smart part behind my forehead? Now, what you need to do is move that emotion. I want you to move it from wherever it is to another place. So mine was emotional. My emotional part got frustrated because things weren't working the way I wanted to work. So I got frustrated. That's an emotional reaction. If I move it up to my smart part, I think differently about it. If I move it back to my old habit part, I even think differently about it. If I stay emotional about it. Having these 3 options where I can place any emotion, feeling, thought, concern allows me to move it. Now, the power of moving it is that you get to feel that you have that control. Now, we're going to claim it. I'm going to put that experience of frustration in the smart part of my brain, and I'm going to declare that I am the boss of that experience. Now, let me give you a little tip. There are some people, like me, that just want to wallow in the frustration for a minute or 2. And that's okay. As long as it doesn't stay there so long that it ends up being rage, anger, frustration, it's okay to be debilitated by emotion for a moment or 2. Just don't wallow in it. You can sit with it, and it can be really, really messed up. But the second it's keeping you from being proactive, find it, move it, claim it, get it back in the smart part, and then lock it in. Lock it in that smart part. My frustration is a choice. And if I lock it in my smart part, I don't have to worry about it taking control over me. And I also don't have to worry about all of the opportunities that I might miss if I just stay in that chaos of frustration. This tool works really, really well with children under 8, but it also talks to those parts of us that are under 8, those temper tantrums we have, the thinking of things being unfair or whatever. So when you're working with clients, when you're working with children, or even when you're dealing with friends, Sometimes just touching the top of your forehead, just reminding that's my smart part. I am the boss of my brain is enough to anchor in the fact that you are not your thoughts and you can choose, you can move that thought wherever you want to. That's your quick fix for boss of my brain. 3 parts of your brain that matter: smart part, emotional part, old habit part. To use this tool, simply ask which part is in charge. We're going to move on to the next activity. I bet you're going to like that one. Try it out. 5-second light switch. 5-second light switch is a favorite among people who are like jackrabbit minds, fast thinkers. They lose their attention. Those that get really deep into depression and they can't seem to get their way out of it. And again, we're talking about the developmental stages of birth to about 8. Your 5-second light switch, let me give you a little story about it. I was at the federal prison at Terminal Island Federal State Prison in San Pedro, California. And I was sitting in a circle with men, and I had gone back the prior week to the library when we had to go to libraries, and I was doing research on the brain. And I was so excited to talk to them about mirror neurons and neurological connections and neurons being able to be built. Until the day we die, we can build new neurological connections. I was so thrilled. And I told them at any time you could build a new neurological connection and just move that circuit. And there was a contractor there, an electrical contractor. He said, well, it's kind of like electrical contracting. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, the neurons have the electrical current, you say, and it's kind of like just building a new wire. I said, yeah. He goes, well, because if I don't like the light switch here, I could put the light switch there and I could just flip the switch. And one guy said, yeah, a 5-second light switch. That's how we got our tool, the 5-second light switch. The key is our dates of study: January, the 3rd week of January, 3rd week of April, 3rd week of July, and the 3rd week of October. The keywords are, I may have an old thought, but I now have a new action. Within 5 seconds, I flip my switch and I get to my new action. The statement of ownership: I can flip my switch and instantly change any negative thought to a positive action with my 5-second light switch. There is no negative thought more powerful than my positive action when I use 5-second light switch. Let's see our activity. I have an old thought. Identify your old thought. Now, this could be a thought that really worked for you. It could be, oh yeah, sleeping in on Saturdays really works for me. And maybe it did. But if you have a wonderful Zoom room that you want to hop in on Saturday mornings, then sleeping in doesn't work for you so well. So my old thought, identify what is the thought and what is standing in the way of your peace and your joy. This can be a temptation, it can be an emotion, or just about anything else. Now, why? Why did that old thought work for you? Because at some point you created it because it worked for you. Remember the limits of the past before you believed you had a choice. Because that old thought worked for you, it doesn't work anymore. My 5. State 5 good reasons why that old thought no longer works for you. For a lot of people, it's people. It's my mom, my dad, my daughter, my friend, my this, my that. They name 5 people. Other people say, my God, my religion. Other people say, my goals, my job. Whatever your 5 is, your 5, you're going to name those 5. Have those at the ready. Because if you're tempted to do something you know would draw you away from your 5, it's going to be easy if you remember my 5. Your new action also requires an action. You have to have something planned. So if you can't go somewhere, let's say you work in a cubbyhole in an office, your new action could be, every time I have to count my 5, I'm going to take a sip of cool, clean water. That's my action. If you're home and you have to flip your 5, then maybe it's that you have to get up and walk around the house. Whatever your action is, have it ready. So you're going to have an old thought. Ooh, why? It used to work for me. My 5 reasons why it doesn't work anymore. Bang, by the 6th second, you're off to your new action. So you can flip your switch, redirect your neurons, and get to a different result right away. That's how you do 5-second light switch. Let's move on to our next tool. We have a total of 4 minutes together. Let go. You're going to love this one. Let go. The dates of study, 4th week of February, May, August, and November. This is part of tools of moving forward. The keywords really are hand, squash, and toss. When bothered, I put the thoughts and feelings in my hand, I squash it, and I toss it away from me. The statement of ownership is, using let go, I focus on the present, and I move beyond my past. I let go allows me to disconnect from anything standing in the way of my ability to create my optimal life. Here's your quick fix. Find it. What's in your face? What is it that's bugging you? Form it. Give it a form. For me, I like them in little balls. Colorize it. Sometimes they're just huge red flaming balls. Sometimes they're just pure crystal balls. So give it a color. Put it in your hand. See it in your hand. See it in the form. See it in the color. Now that might be my frustration from earlier today. I put it in my hand. I see it as crystal blue. See it in my hand in form and color. I'm going to squash it and I'm going to toss it away from me. This allows you to feel what it's like to not have that emotion residing in your body. So let go, hand, squash, toss. Any emotion you feel, hand, squash, toss. Some people just wipe their heads, hand, squash, toss. Whatever it takes, hand, squash, toss, and you're off. That's your quick fix for let go. Remember, situations, circumstances, conditions, and concerns have no power over your ability to create internal freedom, especially when you master your GOGI PowerUp tools. You can build resilience to create your best life, the GOGI way. And the funny thing is, you need nothing more than the 3 tools that you were taught right here. You don't need the whole thing. Those 3 tools will provide you a clear path to internal freedom. I don't know, but I think we should have the ability to get some questions here. Veronica, could you help me with to see if I can see if there are questions? Don't you? Stop the share. Stop the share, yeah.
If anyone has questions, you can just leave them in the chat box.
Awesome. Okay. Every time I see you full cycle like Felicia and Coach Taylor, wow, I honestly feel honest. Oh, moment of tears. Yeah. Yeah, it's really wonderful to see individuals who have utilized these tools, integrated them into their life. And really what we share is internal freedom through service, solutions through service. When more of us are service-oriented, when more of us are empowering people to be their own solution, that's when we find the greatest form of internal freedom. So any more questions I would love to answer. Let me share the screen one more time. There's one last question, ultimate freedom. Ultimate freedom is our tool that really will guarantee you a quick path to internal freedom. Internal freedom is found through service, period. End of story. There's no other way. Living every day to be of service to your fellow human beings, looking at all of them equally and with love and seeing through their flaws into the opportunities they are to be the solution is the only thing that guarantees us the only kind of freedom that can't be taken away from you. Okay, let's see. Thank you for another tool in my belt. Yes, we love that. Email us if you want some more. If you email info@gettingoutbygoingin.org, we'd be more than happy to send you today's slides. We'd be happy to send you the PowerUp meeting schedule, anything you need, or answer some more questions for you. We have 4 seconds, so keep it GOGI for life. Be a solution. We love you. Bye-bye.